goes into that whole superhero thing is that everybody has a superpower, and how you use it, I think, is very important. Like, you can use it for good or you can use it for bad. I often use these metaphors of like superheroes just because I love comic books. But I do think that in real life you can apply those kind of concepts. Is like there's a lot of bad in the world, but there's also a lot of good. And what side, I guess, do you want to be on, or what feeling do you want to give to the world?
Jam.
Hi, my name is Sonia Barcelona, and you are watching the Jam interview.
Jam.
What's your story?
Oh, okay. Man, that's like so interesting, because I think in every individual's journey, it's like there's a lot. So I'll just start with where I began my musical journey, and so that was in 2013. The end of 2013, I had like the rest of 2013, so from January to November, I was traveling for a whole year just to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And I was pretty lost. So I was just kind of adventuring to see what I should be doing, what my purpose is. I think all those existential questions you ask yourself, especially coming right out of college. I was like, okay, I have a degree, but I don't even have a job interview or anything. So I was kind of like that. And I just kind of went off and traveled everywhere. So when I came back, a friend of mine asked me to do an open mic with him, because he played guitar and he sang, and he was like, hey, why don't you sing? I know that you've done a couple of songs on Facebook for friends. And that was just me being really super shy and just being like, well, I can't do that in front of people, so I'm going to film it on Facebook and then just send it as birthday gifts, from afar. And then from that, my friend was like, yeah, you should just like do that in front of people. And that was obviously not the next move for me. I was like, no, I sound like a squirrel. I'm awful. Like, why would you even consider that being the next step? So anyway, I built up some liquid courage and did my first open mic. I failed miserably. I forgot all of my lyrics. And it's funny because like nobody can really help you sing your own song that they've never heard before. So that was my first dive into performing in front of people. And then I failed so bad that I told myself I have to get back up on that stage, because, I mean, that can't be the only thing. That can't be my performance history. Just like one fail and then done. No, that's kind of like, I'm a perfectionist in that way, where like I want to get better and improve. So I just kept going to these open mics every week, and there was a community that was building. And at the same time, I was learning how to do photography. So the people who were filming the open mics, they were filming them and doing photography for the musicians. I would volunteer my time to learn how to do photography behind the scenes. And then when my name was called for the open mic, I would go ahead and then practice guitar and performing. So it was kind of like this 2-in-1 learning experience that I learned so much more doing that than anything I had learned in college, to be honest. So all of my artistic abilities came after college. And I would consider that pretty late, like a late bloomer. So that was like 2021 when I even discovered that I could sing, or that I liked photography. So that's where my journey began. And then also from there, I met so many other artists and musicians who were trying to just get better at their craft and share it with people. And that's what made me really go back to doing that, because I mean, I'm still I still have a sense of stage fright. In the beginning, it was the worst, and that's of course why I forgot all my lyrics and stuff. But I would get better, and it made me feel good to get better and to share it with other people that were open and forgiving, if you made mistakes and stuff. So that's where the beginnings of Sonia Barcelona were. We're just in this dingy, kind of like dive bar that wasn't really meant for open mics. It's called Money Plays, and it doesn't exist anymore, but it's right next to it was right next to the Palms Casino on Flamingo. And yeah, a group of us would just go every week, and we formed kind of this music family. That's actually where I met my boyfriend. He was singing and doing the open mic every week. And yeah, it flourished from there. And now I think where I'm at now is a result of just the persistent weekly practice and love and passion and community. So yeah, that's the beginning of Sonia Barcelona.
How does your drawing and photography supplement you as a musician?
Well, I don't really draw so much. I paint just like I dabble. But I do photography and music more. I think those are the two art forms that I kind of delve into. Um, what was the question?
Well, how does your photography supplement you as a musician?
Supplement as in financially?
Nope, as in like creatively.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I think it's evolved, well, not recently, but it's evolved since I first started. So I mentioned that I used to practice just taking pictures at this open mic with live musicians. So that's where I started. I was doing like really close-up portraits of musicians because musicians don't often have a lot of images that they can use for promotion. So that was just my way of giving back to the community. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed providing a service that people needed. And I also just liked that I was getting better at what I was doing. So that was how it started. And creatively, it was fun to see, like, okay, this lighting is good here, but it's not so good here. And then how does light go on someone's face when they have this face shape? Or so I just started noticing a lot more about light, which I think is something I've been fascinated for quite some time. I went to college for film, but all I really ended up doing was watching a lot of movies. I got a degree for watching movies. That was a lot of fun, actually. But I think while watching those movies, I was just so attracted to how cinematography affected the film, you know, and that's what I loved, was that I loved seeing if a movie didn't have great cinematography, great lighting, I just really wasn't gonna watch it. I wasn't able to stay in it. So I think me taking in all those movies for 4 years and then photography afterward was kind of like the regurgitation of me trying to replicate what I liked in films. So I think that's what I try to do with portrait photography at the time. Just like figure it out and then see what I liked. And so I started going in natural light and shooting portraits with people. And I like that connection that I have when I'm sitting with somebody. And what I like doing is making them laugh. And so if I can capture like a smile, that's like a yes for me. And I discovered that that's what I really liked in portrait photography, not necessarily like so much the light, like that's important. But I think for me, it evolved into me having a connection with who I was shooting with. I don't really shoot models. Models are fantastic. They're very natural with poses and all that. But I find it fun to have somebody who's never been photographed professionally before and to just kind of get them comfortable and see what makes them smile and just give them a fun experience. So now I do a portrait event every month called Photos for the People. And it's super affordable, so anybody could come in and I just give them portraits. And usually people come in from all around town, all walks of life, and they've never had a studio. So I work in a studio now. So I went from like grungy bar, natural light to studio. So that's the evolution of it. But I enjoy now just kind of creating smiles or capturing smiles. That's that's what I've been doing recently. So yeah, that's what's been supplementing my creativity is just good energy, I guess, or smiles.
Awesome. Yeah, that's even like we were talking about just studying film and light, great lighting. I'm sure you learned about like the reduction or the absence of light making great cinematography too.
Yes.
And then also, yeah, with filming people or taking pictures of people that have had professional studio photography pictures um, before. That's like a new experience for them.
Mhm.
And then yes, yeah, seeing that experience blossom into a great product, which is the picture, is probably something that you probably really enjoy.
Yeah, I like when, of course, I love when the customer loves the image, and now it's become a thing where they come to me, they know what style I do. It's very like, I guess you would call it like very flat lighting. But my goal, like I said, is to make people smile and give them a really fun experience. So if I can do that for them, if I can have them feel good while they're taking photographs, and I love that. Like I think it's like more than just, it's a memory. Like you're making a memory. Um, and I like that. It's my kind of service to the community, and it's always, I think it's always been about service for me, even in music, is that if I can service somebody with music or photography and make them feel better, that's the goal of my art, at least, is for me, is that if I can help somebody else, that makes me satisfied with my life. Yeah, I feel like that's generally my purpose, and if I don't do that, I feel kind of like I don't understand what I'm doing with my life. But anyway.
No, that's actually starting out with a life mission helps guide you into
Mm-hmm.
whatever like specifically you want to do to achieve that life mission. That's how I mean I kind of approach life too. Just
Yeah.
to yeah be able to challenge people, then also um, provide them with with help too at the same time. So
Yeah.
that's something I would like to do.
Yeah. It's that, it goes into that whole superhero thing, is that um, everybody has a superpower, and how you use it, I think, is very important. Like you can use it for good or you can use it for bad. I often use these metaphors of like superheroes just because I love comic books. But I do think that in real life you can apply those kind of concepts. Is like there's a lot of bad in the world, but there's also a lot of good. And what are, what side, I guess, do you want to be on, or what feeling do you want to give to the world? And
Yeah, what are you doing to help balance it out?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I see things, and it can be very magical at times. And so, like, if I can find that magic, and if I can offer somebody that feeling of magic, yeah, then like I love that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, can there be importance to being naive?
Yeah, I think, you know what? It's funny. I think I'm naive a lot of the times, to be honest. Like a lot of things go over my head. Um, I think I'm lucky because I said I was a late bloomer. I think it was because I grew up as an only child, and you kind of create your own world when you're alone for, I think, the majority of your childhood. It gives you a sense of like um, extended imagination, if that makes any sense, maybe. Because I've met other people who are only children, and I think that they have like a great imagination, because you're just there with your imaginary friend and yourself, and you're probably talking to yourself in the mirror a lot. You're probably like entertaining yourself. So if maybe that can be called naive, if you are in your own little world, and um, you don't really, I guess, buy into others' perceptions of the world, that could be considered naive. I've been called naive a lot, but that doesn't mean I'm uninformed. I just choose now, as I grow older, I choose like what to put in my mind. Whereas before, I guess I just kind of like had my own little world, right? And then being in that world can be isolating, so you don't know what's happening on the outside. maybe that's what naive is. I don't know. I'm trying to find like a definition that doesn't seem derogatory. Because if somebody calls you naive, that seems kind of like bad. But I don't think it's bad. I don't think naive is being bad. Maybe it's just like how you approach the world, how you perceive it.
Well, if you want to like construct an answer off of the official definition, a person or action showing a lack of experience, wisdom, or judgment.
Okay. And the question was, what again?
Can there be importance to being naive?
Can there be importance in basically inexperience, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I don't think I would have delved into, honestly, I wouldn't have delved into music or photography knowing what I know now, because there's some scary things about the industries that we're in that would definitely put me off when I was much younger. I would be like, oh no, if I found that out about the music industry, I would definitely not even like go into it. So I think it's good to have some level of naivete. I don't know what the word.
That's right.
Because you're not as, I guess, afraid. You just sometimes it's better to dive fully into something without knowing what consequences you may be getting into, and that I think art is it's kind of like that. You just kind of have to take the risk. You just have to like paint on the canvas and not worry too much. Kind of like that. So I think there is importance in that. And I guess I try to find that in my life as I grow older, because when you grow older, you attain more knowledge, right? And it can be good or bad. So to, I guess, like siphon through what can make your reality creative, like what can inspire you to be more creative. That's the task as you get older, right? Because a lot of people get jaded, and I never want to have that feeling of being jaded and just kind of giving up. I never want to have that feeling. So I think it's just managing what comes into your world, your perception. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What else would you want to do before you die besides travel the world?
Besides travel the world. I've kind of traveled the world in my own way. Like I had that whole year I mentioned. I went to like India, I lived there for 4 months, and then I road trip across North America and all this stuff. So with those lessons, I learned that it's about connection. I think I really found out that it's really not bad to stay where you're at and to be satisfied. Especially in this day and age now where we have a phone constantly in our hands and we just like escape to another place when there's people around you. For me, I think I just want to have meaningful experiences in my life all the time. And if I can achieve that, then I don't think I would want or desire for anything other than what comes into my life. I guess it's that definition of being present, right? If I can have really meaningful quality experiences in life, then what's the use of traveling if, you're having a great time already where you're at? Yeah.
Will the Sonia Asks series return?
Oh my God, that's so funny. I haven't heard that in a while. You know what? It might come back. I did say something about how like I told you behind the scenes, I was like, I don't like editing. And then that's kind of why so Sonia Asks was this interview-based video vlog series that I was doing in I think it was like 2014 or 2015, and I would ask random questions to children or artists. It was very short, like kind of funny questions or maybe even meaningful questions. Can that come back? Yeah, it depends on whether or not I want to edit all that. I think I stopped it because I was going so crazy in the post-processing that I was like, I'll never do this again. editing is hard. My eyes hurt. So yeah, I kind of just laid back on video work and kind of went more into photography and music. So, who knows? It might come back though. It was fun. Filming, editing, I don't know. If I could find an editor, maybe.
Which city would you like to do for So Far Sounds once the pandemic's over?
Cool. I love So Far Sounds. Shoot. I mean, it would really be, I think it would be like super fun to go to Barcelona because I visited Barcelona, I think it was like 4 or 5 years back, and I loved it. And that's why I changed my name to Sonia Barcelona. So it'd be so fun to go to the city where I like changed my name to and see how they would react and just kind of walk around. That's a goal I'd like to achieve sometimes, just to go back. Yeah. Whether or not So Far Sounds is happening, but it would be cool to have So Far Sounds there. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've noticed that you've done multiple cities for So Far.
Yeah. That was so much fun. So I think, so I went to Mexico City because half my family's from Mexico. So my stepfather is Mexican and we visit every year. And I was like, wouldn't it be fun if I just did the So Far Mexico City? So that ended up happening. I've done LA a couple of times, Portland, New York City, Las Vegas, of course, and Austin was fun. Austin's like a great town, and I think that may be it. But So Far Sounds is just a great platform. It's good for more intimate audiences, which, like I said, the connection for me, if I could be close to whoever I'm doing music with, or any type of art, then that's for me, it's the connection. So yeah, that'd be fun to do again when this whole thing kind of settles
down. Do you have an obsession with cookies? And what's your favorite kind?
Oh my god, dude, you did your research. You're awesome. Yes. Okay, so I have this kind of, as you grow older, you realize who you are, right? And so I feel as though I found out I was I have this obsessive type of brain type when I discover something new. And recently it was baking. And so I love apple tarts. I like baking apple tarts. And I love making chocolate chip cookies. Recently I made walnut chocolate chip cookies. Baking was something that I love cooking. Like, I'm really good at cooking, but baking is like a science. If you don't have the exact measurements, you will burn your place down.
Yeah.
So, there's a level of like left brain to it, but still creative. And when things come out great, it's awesome. When they're not, then it sucks. But yeah, I think I like chocolate chip. Short answer. Yeah.
That's a good, solid answer.
Yeah.
No, that was the right answer. Let everyone know what lumpia is.
Oh, okay. So, to give you context, I'm half Filipino and half Indian, from India. And lumpia is it's like a staple of Filipino food. And it's an egg roll. It's what you would think is an egg roll because it's wrapped in the wonton wrapping, but inside is meat, like minced meat with carrots and celery or any other type of like veggies you want to mix in there. And that's just delicious. So lumpia, Filipino food, and it has a dipping sauce, usually sweet and sour if you want. That's lumpia. So I recommend it to anybody who's curious about Filipino cuisine. I don't make it, my mom does. So I'll have to ask her to make huge meals because that's what she does. She just like makes buffets and then people come over. So next time that happens, I'll let you know.
Share with everyone what you have coming up and where we can find you online.
Yeah. So what do I have coming up? I have a few singles, and they'll be probably coming out before Christmas time because I have something Christmas related. That would be fun. And you can find me on all platforms, on Spotify, Tumblr. Yeah, just go to soniabarcelona.com and you'll find me some merch there too, everything I make by hand. So my most recent album, Bitter Melon, which is a Filipino food, that was my first time like photoshopping and then and creating a CD sleeve and like drawing up superhero version of me and then like putting it on the album cover. So people can find some pretty fun stuff that I've done on my website, and all my shirts are designed by artists from around the world or in Las Vegas. And yeah, just go there. It's fun. I like making things fun. So if you like fun things and you want to buy fun things from me, that's cool. I would love that. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you for doing the interview.
No, thank you for having me.
Jam.
Thank you for watching. Keep jamming.